Hello, you guys. Yash here. I wanted to make a quick little PSA, little message before we delve into this video about something important that I want to use my platform to speak out about. I'm sure you guys are aware of the things that are occurring in America with people getting detained by ICE, and I want to make it firmly clear that I am completely against what is going on in that regard and feel it is completely reprehensible. Being an illegal immigrant in America is a civil defense, not a crime. Therefore, it should be handled civilly. And I want to just put a spotlight on that because I just feel it's a little insensitive to release my content because it's like, how can you like be in La La Land when there's a lot of things occurring? But um I wanted to I'm sorry if I'm not explaining this correctly and not like talking smoothly. I went through this in my head so many times, but like putting the camera on, I'm like, anyway. I'm still gonna release my video. Obviously, if you're watching this, it's up, but I want to use it as kind of like kind of I want to use it to speak about these issues. Um Victims such as Mahmoud Khalil, a Columbia University student, fully legal and was detained and is being sent to Palestine. I don't know if you guys have seen the Google Maps recently published images of what is how the conditions, the critical conditions Palestine is in. It is horrific, and he is being sent back there when he has a wife and kids here, I believe, and then 9-year-old Martir Garcia Laura. I hope I'm saying that right. 9-year-old. He's a 9-year-old kid, and he is detained and being sent back to Honduras. That is just like I have been living in America for like almost 17 years. I moved here when I was 2, and it's just scary to know that it's not safe to go out in the streets anymore. And to anybody that is protesting, your bravery is completely commendable and my admiration is through the roofs for you guys. If you guys have any resources, please, like, this is my use my I welcome for you guys to say what you need to say and continue spreading that awareness. In my comments, leave me resources on links I can use as like petitions or perhaps donations, anything of that sort. Let me know about it. And I will also link some things in my description if I can find any good resources. I would just wanted to come on and make my stance clear. The older I get, the more I'm like, I need to be very aligned with my moral compass. And, you know, I can't just sit back and pretend like there's not a catastrophe occurring in this world, and not just in America, in other places. And my heart goes out to anybody who's being affected by just destruction and craziness, I guess. For lack of a better word, I'm not really explaining it that well, so I'm sorry if my words are they are understatements. Everything I'm saying is severely an understatement to what is actually occurring. And as someone who is living very privilegedly, I want to speak out and help you all get the spotlight you need, recognition, and whatnot. I hope all of that makes sense. And again, leave any resources down below. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoy watching this video. Thank you. Sapadoodle gang, welcome back to I Didn't Ask for a Yappuccino featuring your host Yash. In my last video, I promised that I would be doing a video where I attempt the Shalom Harlow iconic 90s runway look, where she has that silvery eyeshadow. I mentioned it in my last video, in the video before that, and in the video before that, and now we're finally doing it. If you haven't noticed, the mic that I said that I was going to purchase in my last video finally arrived. If I'm being honest, I'm not the most satisfied with it just because I feel like the audio, I was like testing it by making like videos where I'm like, hello, hello, blah, 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 right? And it honestly sounded like, it reminded me like of Skype audio. Do you guys remember Skype? Anyway, it kind of sounds like that. But I also mentioned in my last video, which you should check out, that I want the way my videos to be oriented like we're on FaceTime. So maybe the muffly audio adds onto that. So I guess it's all for the better. I hope that it's positioned okay and that you aren't hearing a bunch of mouth noises as I speak throughout this video, and that the background noise isn't as like as it was in my previous videos. I apologize for that, and I hope that the audio is going to be okay for this video, and that I'm not like, my breath won't get into the mic and like disturb it with like some loud noises that will hurt your ears, especially if you're wearing headphones while watching this video. I do not want to hurt your ears. Also, if you hear any down here, again, my squeaky chair that I sit on, I'm crisscross applesauce, hands on your knees type of vibe. Also, I'd like to point out that I've been using this makeup mirror for like the past two videos, and then the third one, including this one. It's rusty and a little crusty because it's old, but it still works, guys. Don't look at it. Don't judge a book by its cover, you know? Anyway, let's get started with this makeup, and I'm going to do my base as I usually do. I'm going to do a bit more higher coverage and a bit more glam with the blush, highlighter, and contour to make it very more apparent in the look. I don't know why I said contour, but then we're going to move on to the eyes and eyeliner again. Hopefully I won't get it on my parents' bed sheets, because I was like panicking last video. I was like trying to clean it to the best of my abilities, and I was like, Mom, I messed up your pillowcase. And she wasn't mad. She said that she sewed it herself, actually, and she said it's okay. So luckily we're good with that. Shout out, Mom. I'm using your eyeliners again for this video. Hopefully we can pull it off with this look, and hopefully we can pull off this look, because the last two looks that I've been doing, the Doyeon and the Turkish Delight makeup, have been fails, and I hope this one isn't a fail. I really am a makeup rookie, like, genuinely. Anyway, let's get on to our base. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the trail. I'm going to be using my Giorgio Armani concealer all over my face, and we'll just call it a foundation. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to talk about a bunch of random things in this video, and then we're going to play Would You Rather. But just to start us off, today marks 1 year ever since I graduated high school. And I think it also marks a year since I've started filming videos on YouTube for this channel. So I would just like to point that out. Happy anniversary, I guess. And thank you for sticking by and watching my videos. I really appreciate it. When it comes to graduating high school, I don't really know how to feel about that. It's very like, okay, so it's been a year. What now? Yeah, that kind of vibe. I don't know how to feel. I'm not really like so super sentimental about it, like, oh my gosh, it's already been a year. I'm just like, all right. I guess because I don't miss high school, so I'm like, well, you know, we're done with that. Still doing my summer semester classes. It's almost coming to an end. Everything is going pretty well. I'm writing a bunch of papers, and yeah. Oh, this Monday I actually have to take like a credit test, a computer skills placement test. Hopefully I do well on that. I was watching a video on how to use Excel. Why is that actually so complicated for no reason? Like, that's actually a skill. No wonder they have courses where you do those. But I hope that I can pass the test. Imagine if I don't, that would be pretty bad. Anyway, what did I want to talk about? Oh, in my last video I mentioned that I wanted to make like a whole video where I talked about like the things on my flashcards that I pointed out in my last video. I keep saying in my last video, that's a little annoying and redundant. But in that video I was like, I want to talk about how like I was having this little hurdle with my hobbies. I'll touch on that a bit now. I'll kind of give you guys a summary because I don't want to get too deep into it, because it's like I don't even remember what I was talking about, if I'm being honest. I mean, I don't remember much of the hurdle, but I kind of remember the gist, and just wanted to bring it up. But it's kind of like, okay, what? Like, I'm not going to dwell on it anymore. I'm just going to move on. Not that it's like a sore spot. I can talk about it if I want to. It's just kind of boring, and I don't want to bore you guys. Hopefully you guys aren't bored with my videos. Yes, I know I'm really packing this concealer on, really taking it on. But anyway, with the whole hobby hurdle thing, I was speaking with my family members, right, about we were just like talking, and my sister is actually a very great artist, and I was like, do you ever like force yourself to draw? And she mentioned that, like, no, I'd never forced myself to draw. And I was like, oh, as that's like, I'm good. I'm happy for her about that, but I like thought about it myself. And if you guys don't know, which I mentioned in my like last videos, like that I write on the side. It's like my hobby that I've been doing for the past like 2 to 3-ish years almost. Yeah. And yeah, I kind of just like write in my own way. I always like link my stories in the description below if you want to take a look at it. And my social medias, I kind of oriented around promoting my stories. So if you want to check those out, take a look at down my description below. I want to make a video where I talk about my stories a bit more, just because I want to let you guys know about it and see if you guys are interested in giving it a read, because I think it's something I like it, you know. It's a romance story, and I like the stuff I'm writing about, and I think it has a lot of promise, and it's like something to offer to the table, you know what I mean? And yeah, I'm inspired by a bunch of like romance stories that I've read, and it prompted me to write a story of my own. And it's something that brings a lot of joy in me. But why I bring this up and why I'm kind of like feeling a bit iffy about it, and why I felt iffy about it before, is because I honestly force myself to write. Like, I like writing, I love writing, but I really have to be like, okay, schedule it in my day mentally. I don't really like write it down and be like, okay, today we're going to write. I have to like really be like, okay, we're going to sit down and we're going to write and we're going to edit. Then we're going to look through our work again and we're going to implement whatever the heck, you know, sift it through grammarly to make sure that everything is grammatically correct. And I feel like the editing portion of writing is not necessarily my favorite part of the writing process. I'm more of a writer and I like just getting my thoughts out of my head, but I never had like issues when it comes to like, well, sometimes I'm stumped, but I always can like figure out a way to like find something to write about, right? And it's just like, it surges through me, you know, that writing ability, I guess. Not that I'm saying it's like talent. I would just say I'm just explaining the things that come out of my head and immerse myself in what I want to write about, you know? But I honestly have to force myself to do it. Not like not like it's not like force like I can't, like, I don't want to do it, I hate doing it. I want to do it, but it's not always super thrilling to do it. And I can say that majority of the time it's not always thrilling to do it. Writing can be pretty annoying at times, and honestly majority of the times, dare I say. And that's why I'm kind of like, sometimes it's hard to be always like motivated and like, I want to write, I want to write, but it's hard to I don't know, I don't think I'm finding the right words, but I always forced myself to write, but not like force, you know what I mean? Not like going to school forcing yourself to do something. It's more so like I'm forcing myself to do it because I want to finish my story and I want it to be out into the universe and I want people to recognize it and I want people to read what I have to say and things like that. It's more so that. And I forgot what I was talking about. I'm so all over the place. My mind is so like scrambled, but I was like really questioning, like, is writing for me if I'm like forcing myself to do it, sort of like I have to kind of like but if I don't do it, I don't feel productive, and I feel like, and like, let's say I'm taking a break and I'm like, I don't know, scrolling through TikTok, scrolling through Instagram. If I scroll through like social media apps for like hours on end, I feel really bad, and I'm like, I could have used this chunk of time to write instead. So it's like all I think about, and I'm like, okay, I like, when it comes to like editing, I don't really like that process as much when it comes to writing, so it's a bit more of a hassle to like make myself do it, and I'm not as thrilled, but I know it's something that needs to be done, and I feel really good after I do it because I was productive and I am one step closer to finishing my story, you know what I mean? And putting it out there and promoting it and this and that and getting feedback and criticism and all those things. And yeah, it's just like, it's a hobby that I love doing. And even when it comes to art, I love doing it, but honestly, I like have to really kind of discipline myself to do it. That's the right word, discipline. I wouldn't say that I force myself to write. I just have to discipline, because if I don't discipline, I won't get any writing done. And yes, I do have spurts of motivation where I'm like, okay, yeah, I can write without having to like be like, come on, let's do it, Yash, you know what I mean? But those moments come rarely, if I'm being honest. And I guess sorry, I keep nudging the mic. When I initially started writing, which was kind of really out of mindfulness, and I wasn't really paying attention to like making anything grammatically correct or adding a bunch of like this, that, it was a lot funner. But now that I'm implementing like, okay, we have to be very grammatically correct, and just kind of like putting a lot of pressure on myself to do all these standards. I said that I wasn't going to ramble a lot about this, but here we are. I'm just such a yapper, what can I say? What was I saying? I just lost track, because, well, come on, think. What was I saying? Oh, when I first initially started writing, I put now I have a lot of pressure on myself and a lot of standards that I kind of like hold myself up to, and like a bunch of stakes, you know what I mean? And I was like watching videos on like how to get over that and like process those kinds of feelings, and it's like you just have to like really take the pressure off of yourself, and that's gonna take time, and that's just, it's not something that like you can have tips on. Like, stop pressuring on yourself. Like, if it was that easy, you know what I mean? It's more so like, just know that the stakes aren't so high. Are you getting a Nobel Peace Prize from your writing? Probably not. So relax, you know what I mean? If you make a mistake, you could always revise it. You'll always learn. And honestly, I've learned so much being a writer, and over the years, as I've been doing it, I've seen like I'm becoming a better writer constantly. But another hurdle that I'm going through currently is that I was watching like tips on how to become like improve your writing and whatnot, and realized that I'm not as descriptive when it comes to my storytelling capabilities. I kind of just like say things verbatim. I tell you what is in my story rather than describing it and showing it. And the number one rule in writing is that you should show, not tell. Like, for example, the man was sad is telling, but describing, you don't necessarily use the word sad. You describe what themes make something sad, and the audience will infer that there is a sad theme going on. Like, for example, instead of saying sad, like the man was sad, you can say like that atmosphere in the room was heavy. The frown on his face was deep. Things like that. Like, those kinds of descriptions are what make the story more immersive for the reader. And I really struggle with that, because like, for example, let's say I'm saying that character A is like, the setting of the story is the scene of the story is supposed to be like sentimental. I'll say that character A looked at character B sentimentally, feeling touched. I'm still telling, but I'm using more like, I guess, flowery words to explain something. But I'm not describing it, and I'm trying to get into the habit of instilling more descriptive elements into my story. Not too much, because when you do too much, it's something called purple prose. Like, I don't know, I can't really think of anything right now, but I feel like I'm on the purple prose stage now that I'm implementing too much descriptions. It's like, the street light emitted a red glow that pierced through character A's gaze, signifying that they should put their car to a halt, placing their foot on the pedal and stopping abruptly, intimidatingly, as if they are in control of their driving. Like, those kinds of, like, you're over explaining now. You're overdoing it. You can describe it in a way that's, conciser, if that's even a word. And I'm struggling with that. I didn't know those were like things. I was just like, YOLO.
Put y'all seatbelts on. Psh, YOLO.
Oh, I'm gonna do my own thing. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
I'm gonna do my own thing.
Kind of vibe. But I'm like, okay, these are actually some pretty good writing tips. And a lot of reputable, esteemed, prestigious writers, all these writers are like, yeah, you need to show, not tell, and you don't need to do purple prose. And I'm like, release me! But that's kind of what I've been struggling with and I have some videos in my watch later about like continuing to tackle that and get better at it. But I really think it's something that's just going to get better with I'm going to get better with experience, like I've been doing with my other writing stuff. But I just wanted to tell you guys about that and what I've been dealing with. But is writing for me? I can't answer that. Is it something I love doing? It's something that gives me purpose and something that I feel promise in because I think my story has a lot of potential, and it's something that keeps me busy, it keeps me working on a project, and it's thrilling in the sense that I feel promise within it, and I'm passionate about it, though I have to discipline myself. You know what I mean? It's kind of that kind of connection, but I don't see myself doing anything else. Or, like, I know I'm doing like YouTube creating, and like I'm not really like disciplining myself to do YouTube. I'm just doing it because it's fun. You know what I mean? I'm in that like mindfulness type of situation that I was in when I initially started writing, but it's something that I'm not really like forcing myself to do. And I feel like, if my sister's not forcing herself to draw and do art, which she is incredibly talented, I just kind of feel like a bit of a black sheep, like I'm the odd one out because I'm forcing myself, not forcing, but disciplining myself a lot to get my hobbies done, because I know that if I don't discipline myself, I won't get it done and I'll feel unproductive and set back because I could have done so much work within my break time when I did something else instead, if that makes sense. So give me some tips if you know how to like tackle this, but I'm not like dwelling on it too much. I'm like, okay, so we feel this way, but what about it? We're just gonna continue doing what we do, and that'll be it. Like, not that'll be it. We're just gonna continue powering through this, and feelings are temporary. Maybe this is the way I feel now because I'm almost heading into my early 20s. I'm turning 19 in 2-ish months, and I can already feel that like early 20s mindset starting to settle in, of just being extremely inquisitive about everything and questioning XYZ, and I think that's bleeding into like my hobbies and whatnot. But I'm still going to do it because, again, I don't see myself doing anything else, and it's something that I see having a lot of promise. But again, I'm just trying to get a lot of pressure off of myself to make things perfect, because I think that's what's making it so unfun, and what's causing me to like discipline myself a lot, when it should just be, okay, if we don't get it right, so what? The world still spins, you know what I mean? But yeah, I didn't want to. We're 18 minutes in, and I've been rambling about that for like half of this video. But again, if you guys have any tips, and I hope I explained myself well enough, because I don't know if like my explanation, I'm like not really good at explaining, and that's also very evident in my writing. But I hope that you guys are understanding what I'm trying to say. And if you have, I've been saying that again, I've been repeating myself. If you have any tips on any of the things I've said, let me know. Anyway, if you're like, girl, you've been setting your face for a while, this is so like pale on me. What the heck? This concealer. I think maybe I got tanner. But wow, that means I've had this concealer for a year, because I bought it for my graduation, because I needed it. Anyway, we're going to move on to playing Would You Rather. Play along with me down below and give me your responses to these prompts. I'll put the website where I got my prompts from up here. Let's go to the first question I've selected. Would you rather have telekinesis or telepathy? I would rather have telepathy, because I think that people have a lot of valuable things to say, and I want to know what's flowing through their mind. What are they gatekeeping? Especially like, let's say people enthralled in business. How can I make bag? Let me just look into their mind and see what they have to say, and perhaps I can, I'll know the secret and we'll be good. That's what I would do. Or let's say I wouldn't have to like study anymore, but because I could just like read into the mind of the smart kid in a class and just know what they have to say. But I would say it's kind of the ability that bends a lot of morals. Like, why are you kind of going into people's personal lives. Like, that's a little messed up. Like, why are you looking into people's minds? That's a very, like, crossing a lot of boundaries. So I guess I wouldn't do it, or I would try to be as I would be very restrictive with myself. Like, okay, I'm not gonna look into the mind of every person because that's very very invasive. I need to withhold myself from doing that. So I would just look in when it's necessary, but I would do it because I have the ability, right? Gotta use it. But like, let's say for example, let's say you could really use it to know what someone thinks about you and know what's running through their minds. And I think that's extremely important nowadays because so many people have ulterior motives, or you don't know their true intentions. So let's say for example you go on a date with someone and you're like, okay, I want to know what he thinks about me, what is he pursuing me for, will he be loyal, etc. What is running through his mind in this very moment, and is it a betrayal of trust? Low-key, yes, but you have the capability, you know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it bends a lot of ethics, and that kind of rubs me the wrong way. But you could really use it to know what a person is truly thinking. And imagine if you read into their mind and they, like, let's say you read into the mind of your supposed best friend and then you realize that they hate you. Like, cut them off, you know? But yeah, I feel like it could be a double-edged sword at a lot of times. So maybe I'd have, but I don't know what I would use telepathy for. I mean, telekinesis. Like, would I use it to steal money from a bank? Like 11? You are like Papa. I don't know. I think I'm good just the way I am. But yeah, this is would you rather. It's not. I think I'm good just the way I am. Like, answer the question. Yeah, I think telepathy. I don't know what I would do with telekinesis. Like what? Well, I could become popular if I was just like, guys, look, I'm about to make this floating object float. And then I would become popular because of that. Because like, wow, you have telekinesis. But then imagine if I become popular and then the government is like, we need you, and then they take me and then they take me hostage and then they're gonna test a bunch of experiments on me like they did with 11 for Stranger Things. Imagine if they do that. Yeah, I think telepathy, because I would be very hush hush about it. Next question, we over elaborated on that one too much. Would you rather live under the sea or in space? I think I would live under the sea because I had a huge mermaid phase. We're still in it. What are you talking about? I had a huge mermaid phase when I was a kid. I was convinced I was a mermaid, and I remember very vaguely that I told my dad, "I'm a mermaid," and he was like, "No, you're not." And that actually crushed me. I don't think I talked to him for a while after that. He was like, why would you just say no? Especially as a kid, you're supposed to feed into it. And I also remember I convinced my busmate at the time that I was a mermaid. And I was like, I can't wash my hands. But I obviously would. Like, that's disgusting. Of course I'd wash my hands. But she wouldn't know about that. And when it was raining, I remember there was like a puddle of rain water. And I was like, eek, water. And there was like some kids behind us and they're just like, what the hell? But then I remember I like grew out of that phase and I'm like, yeah, I lost my mermaid capabilities. I'm no longer a mermaid. And I think she knew, like, she was just like kind of confirming my bias. She's like, yeah, sure. Shout out to her if she still remembers me. But yeah, I think I'd live, because space is scary. What are you gonna do in space? Like, get lost? It just seems too scary. Like, I'm just gonna be floating around. I'm scared. It's like just a bunch of vast space. Like, it's called space for a reason. It's just like a void of darkness. That's a bit scary. But do I kind of want to see aliens? Yes, if they do exist. Which, who knows? I love conspiracy theories, so I really do. And all those aliens conspiracy theories, I like them. But honestly, like, what do you guys think? Do you guys believe in aliens? I don't know. I think that, like, maybe they're, like, the universe is huge and the Earth is like an ant in the whole entire system. And there's a bunch of universe. There's universe this, that, blah, blah, blah. What if there's, like, we can't be so, like, you know, stubborn and be like, no, we're the only living species that lives this way. No, like, Imagine if that's the multiverse though, and it's me doing this video in a different universe, but I'm green. It's called the Greeniverse. Imagine if that's what it is. Technically, that is an alien. But like, for example, if we were to find like any sort of creature on Mars, like let's say a lizard, technically that's an alien because that's another organism in a different planet. That's an alien. I'm pretty sure we have found lizards. I don't know, I'll do research about that and post it in this video as an edit, but like, I'm pretty sure we have. Like, we're starting to get there, but maybe, I don't think they should incinerate us, but yes, I would live in the ocean because, okay, the ocean is scary too though. Like, let's be real, like, all those, I said like so many times just now, all those like deep water creatures are very scary looking, and who knows what they can do like to us. Like, we're not meant to be this way. But like, this question is asking, would you rather live underwater or in space? And I'm imagining that I'm like a mermaid in Atlantis underwater, and of course I would say yes to that. That's my preferred choice. So even if I run into like an anglerfish or that creepy looking squid that has like those weird or heck, the colossal squid, you know, the great white shark, if I run to them and I'm a species of Atlantis in the Mariana Trench, we're gonna be cool with each other, obviously, so they wouldn't do anything to me, okay? Guys, I just went on a whole entire ramble for like 36 minutes, and my mic wasn't even on the entire time. And I had that suspicion. I did. I was like, I don't think my mic is on, but I'm too lazy to check. I'm just gonna keep rambling. I said so much stuff. Oh my god. I'm not gonna go back to say it. But hello, Yash here. To give you a little bit of a summary. 3 hours passed because I had to stop my video because my friend called me, and then my parents came home. They're in the other room. Oh my gosh, like, I just felt like such a warm sensation just engulfed me. Like, I feel like I'm in trouble. Oh my gosh, my like armpits are hot. TMI. Oh my god. And like, the reason I figured out was because my microphone clipped off, and I was like, oh, I need to fix this. Then I watched my video because I accidentally paused it, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not talking. Oh my god, I said so much valuable stuff, and I think I actually had coherent thoughts come out of me for once. What the heck? I'm actually like so devastated by that. And as you can see, I look different. I did my eyebrows, I did my contour, I did my blush, and I did the eye look, and I'm moving on to eyeliner now. Oh my god. What can you do? You can't cry over spilled milk, huh? That's crazy. I'm gonna have to redeem myself and I'm gonna have to re-answer those questions in a different video. I'm actually devastated by that. I said some good stuff. That was definitely a me issue, but what the heck? What the heck? Anyway, I'm just gonna go off of the question I was already answering. So the question was, would you rather know the date of your death or the cause of your death? So if I know the cause, I'm still gonna die. It never said, will you know the cause of your death and perhaps prevent it? You're still gonna die. So I would much rather know the date, because if I know the date, then I can live my life to the fullest until that time comes. So let's say, like, yeah, I'm not gonna talk more about it because this is death and I don't want to speak anything out to the universe. Knock on wood, knock on wood, knock on wood. Anyway, I'm going to move on to our next question. I said so much good stuff. I'm actually like devastated that my audio didn't catch anything. What the frick? But that is my fault. No one to blame except me. Anyway, next question. Would you rather visit the past or travel into the future? No, I would not want to. Why did I just say no? We didn't even answer the question. What the heck? I would obviously like to go into the past. And the reason I say no is because in the section I just filmed that didn't capture my audio, I said that, like, I'd much rather want to be in the past. It was something about time. I'll answer it in a different video. I'm so sorry, guys. But it was something about time, and I'm like, if I have more time, I would want to have more time in the past because I would have been able to appreciate my childhood more. So I would much rather visit the past And now that I know more and am, you know, an adult and whatnot, and have a deeper appreciation for life and not to take things for granted and whatnot, I would want to travel to the past because those were better times. If we could turn back time to the good old days, down. See, good. I would travel back in time because that song was the stuff back then, and I didn't realize the impact of the lyrics until I got older. And now I'm like, yes, I wish I could turn back time to the good old days. You know what I mean? Oh man. And I wish I could turn back time so that I turned my audio on to speak for that star. Guys, I said a bunch of good stuff. Oh my gosh. And it's just me in silence, like. Okay, anyway. I suck at eyeliner. The consensus is that I am bad at makeup, which I said. Okay, we're not going to dwell too much in about what I didn't capture. Under eyeliner, I know I should probably like put it closer to my waterline, but I'm screwed. And yes, this is my mom's. If you're watching this, Mom, she's in the rest of the room. Oh, I also mentioned that like since my parents are back, I thought it would be weird to film with them in the other room, but I've been seeing so much stuff, and it's like I'm not weirded out. So you guys can expect more content to be filmed because if I'm just alone in this room, they can't hear anything that I'm saying, and I don't feel disturbed or like a little shy that they're there. I'm like, okay, moving on. The show must go on. Anyways, let's answer another question. And still mad about what I did earlier. Okay, would you rather have no emotions or feel every single emotion incredibly intensely? I would feel every emotion incredibly intensely. I actually love feeling. I love having emotions. I love, especially like good emotions, like being appreciative, grateful, happy. If you could feel that tenfold, that's a good thing. And I want to feel it tenfold. Like when I'm happy, I'm like, oh, you know what I think of? Okay, so when I watched Vampire Diaries, they say that as a vampire, your emotions are heightened. And I'm like, ooh, if I was a vampire, my emotions would be heightened and that would be lit. Because I would just like feel every emotion so much, and I'd be like, even then, I was like, okay, that's a cool ability. I'd want to be a vampire so that I could feel everything. Like even like touch. Like let's say you or like smell. Like all those senses are heightened. So I would but that's senses. I hope that you guys know the eyeliner incident. Yeah, we better not do anything crazy. But we better not shake this or anything. But this is emotions. This is not senses. But they kind of coincide. I can't speak right now because I'm doing eyeliner. Definitely emotions though, either way, because if I feel no emotions, life is boring, you know? Yeah, so obviously I'd rather feel emotion. I need to focus a little bit. Okay, I don't want it to seem like it's desensitive to say like life is boring without emotions, because I know that some people are like dealing with mental health struggles and they may be like, yeah, life is boring because I can't like feel anything. My heart goes out to you guys. I don't want it to seem like life is boring. Like I kind of said it really rudely, not considerately. Since this eyeliner is open, it's getting dry because I keep opening it. But yeah, I think I answered that question. We're gonna move on. It's been an hour, guys, and I've only done eyeliner. What the heck? Okay, anyways. Would you rather never get angry or never be envious? See, anger is sure do we need to like regulate our anger so that we don't lash out as much and get mad at the people that don't deserve our projected frustrations and whatnot? Yes. And I think that takes a lot to like contain at times, especially if you have like anger issues, which I don't think I have anger issues, but when I get mad, I get mad, you know what I mean? And I try my best to just calm myself down, contain my composure and whatnot. But it's necessary. Like, let's say someone is being rude to you, or someone needs to learn a lesson or two, or like there's a bunch of worldly conflicts occurring in this world, and it's like it's okay to get mad at that and speak your voice, you know, and be like, I don't think it's fair that we're getting this sort of treatment, or whatever it could be, you know what I mean? Because anger makes you realize that, and you get angry and you're like, let me say something, you know what I mean? So anger is important. But envy, when I feel envious, I don't want to feel envious. I'm like, why am I feeling jealous of someone? Well, it's a little different, jealous and envy, but it's kind of the same thing. So like when I get like jealous or envious of someone, I'm like, I don't want to feel this way, because why am I mad that someone is happy, or someone has this, or someone has that? That's the way it should be. They should have those things, and I shouldn't be all mad about it because they have it and I don't. That doesn't make, like, when I feel envious, I'm like, I don't want to feel this way. So to answer that question, instead of going on a long ramble about saying the same thing over and over again but differently, I would rather never be envious than not get angry. Angry is necessary, girl. Anyways, next question. Would you rather be reincarnated as a sea creature or an airborne creature? So if you're airborne, you could fly like a bird. But I have a fear of heights. Like, well, that's one of my biggest fears, guys. Heights. When my family and I went to the Island of Adventure, Island of Adventure, and we were thinking of going to Universal Epic because that's the new theme park that opened in Universal. But then we realized there was a bunch of roller coasters on there. I think like half of the rides on there are roller coasters, and we're like, after the Velocicoaster, if you guys have been on the Velocicoaster, it is actually one of the craziest rides I've ever been on, because it is the crazy. It's like the only roller coaster I've ever been on, honestly. And I went to Velocicoaster and then Hagrid. Hagrid is nothing compared to that. So, okay, I was making this connection because I was talking about heights. But if I'm reincarnated as an airborne creature, I don't think that airborne creatures have a fear of heights, because obviously they're in the air a lot. So they don't have a fear of heights. So I wouldn't have a fear of heights. So would I rather fly, or would I rather be in the ocean swimming around and whatnot? I think I'd be in the ocean and swim around that much, because did I mention this? I think I mentioned this in that chunk of video that got silenced, but I had a huge mermaid face, guys. No. I mentioned this because I was talking about, I forgot. Be in space or in the sea. I talked about my mermaid face. Yeah, I remember. Sorry. The video that got, no microphone, no audio, disoriented me, It's the incident. We'll talk about it, Anyways, we'll refer to that scenario as the incident. Anyway, yeah, I think I'd rather be in the sea, because I wanted to be a mermaid. I had that huge mermaid face when I was a kid, and I think that inner child would be fulfilled in me by being reborn as a sea creature. But what kind of sea creature? We gotta be specific, because if we're reborn as a sea creature, and then let's say, like, I don't know, we're a crab, they don't live that long, and it's kind of, it's just a crab. It's like an ant. No, it's not. If I saw a crab right now, I'd be like, ah! But, like, it really depends on what kind of sea creature. Like, I'd want to be, like, reincarnated as a whale, because they're cool, or like a shark of some kind. That's what I want to be as. But if I'm just reincarnated as like I don't mean to like say like, ugh, a fish. But if it's like a little guppy, imagine you get reincarnated. You're like, yes, I'm gonna be reincarnated as a sea creature, and then you're reincarnated as a guppy. I'm 1 in a trillion, actually.
We are krill. You're meant to look the same. Not me, Bill. There's only one of me in all the world. I'm 1 in a trillion.
Okay, we're 1 in a trillion. I forgot about that. But it's like, yeah, all they do, or like, what are those fishes that like swim in that like spiral arc all together, and that's like the majority of their life as a school of fish? I don't know what they're called, but oh my gosh, this is so deep. I remember someone filming a TikTok video where they were showing those fishes, and then there was all these fishes going this way, and then there was one going this way. That can be interpreted into so many ways, and it can be interpreted like deeply. Whew. So yeah, but then I'd still be swimming. I like swimming. Like feel like a mermaid when I swim. I'm trying to fill in this like little white spots because I think the eyeliner dried out. Sorry, Mom, I'll get you a new one. And I'm sorry if this lighting is not good because it's the evening. Honestly, I'll turn on the lights. Give me a sec. What am I doing? Turn on the lights, girl. Lights are on. We're doing good. This makeup looks not good. This is not Shalom Harlow. But yeah, honestly, that's a hard question though. Airborne or sea creature? Because I want to fly. And I like being in heights, but I'm scared of them. So I guess I can't really imagine that much because it's like, I'm scared. But if I'm reincarnated, won't I still feel and have the same, like, won't I still be me? I'll still be me, so I think I'll still have a fear of heights. But then again, do birds? I don't think birds have a fear of heights. That's, oh, but when we watched Rio, I know that's fake, but Rio, Blueberry. His name was Blueberry. No, his name is Blue. What am I talking about? Because I actually had parakeets, and we named them Blue because of that movie. We named him Blue, but he was actually green. Yeah. He had a fear of heights. That's why he couldn't fly. He was scared of heights. So let's take that. I'd rather be a sea creature. Yeah. Okay. Would you rather be forced to live the same day over and over again for a full year, or take 3 years off the end of your life? Obviously, I'm going to live the same day over and over again for a full year. If it's the weekend. If it's the weekend, sign me up. I want to live the rest of my life as a weekend. And for just 1 year. Notice how it says just a full year? I can handle that. That's like, I was about to say that's like Psyche K, but it's not. Spoilers. It's not like Psyche K because he relives the same year over and over again, not the same day. That's different. But yeah, I'd much rather live the same day over and over again because if it's the weekend, I'm chilling. But if it's a weekday and I have to go to school again, reliving that, I think I still would do it because I would have saved a lot of time. Like in that 1 full year, I would have only lived 1 day and then I can still live the rest of my life. Why would I take 3 years off of my life? No thanks. Nuh-uh. Anyways, I think this eyeliner can't be saved, guys. We're just gonna move on. This eye came out better than this eye. But again, this is not Shalom Harlow. Let's just move on, guys. Anyways, would you rather be stuck in a zombie apocalypse or an alien invasion? Oh, I think these are pretty bad. Pretty bad options, guys. Alien invasion? But they're gonna incinerate me with their laser guns and whatnot. I actually wrote a book called Alien Invasion, guys, when I was in like 5th grade. I'll put it up here. I was thinking of like as a video idea, I could like read through it. I was also thinking of like reading through my diary. But yeah, I need to share that book with you guys, but it's terribly written. Terribly, that's an understatement. A book is terribly written, okay? But, okay, answer this question. Girl, why are you getting off? Why are we going on side tangents? Would I rather... Oh my gosh, these suck though. Both of them, my chances of dying are high. But what if they're chill aliens? What if it's but it's an invasion that has a negative connotation? I don't know. What would I do? If it's a zombie apocalypse, I'm still cooked. I'm worried about my dog. I'm thinking of like I Am Legend, guys. Like that. I don't have an answer to this one. What do you guys think? Give me your thoughts down below about what would you rather do, because I am stumped. I don't know. I think both are just bad. Can I just not? Anyway, moving on to the next question. Would you rather be seated on an airplane between a couple that's arguing or next to a crying baby? I would rather be sat next to a couple that's arguing because I could get filled in on all the tea then. I'd be like, ooh, what are you guys talking about? I need to hear that. And then I would just be entertained my entire plane ride, because usually, like, I went on this recent plane ride, not recent, 2 years ago, girl, 2 years ago I went on a plane ride to visit my family in Central Asia, and it was so boring because they had like 0 movie selections, and I was just like staring for 12 hours at the seat in front of me because I didn't know what to watch and I didn't want to watch anything. But then I remember I downloaded like some of my webtoons to read on the plane, and then I like ran out because you can only download. I like downloaded like a bit, and then I read all of them, and I'm like, now what? You know, I read all of them a little too quickly than I anticipated, and then girl, what happened next, girl? You know, I just did nothing. But imagine if in that plane ride, in 11 hours, I would just hear this couple arguing. If they're arguing loud, that's a little annoying, especially if you're. But the thing is, I can't sleep on planes. I literally can't sleep on planes. I want to be able to sleep on planes, but they're so uncomfortable. When I become an industrial engineer, guys, I'm gonna find a way to make plane seats more comfortable. That's like my number one thing. I am very passionate about that because, girl, it was too uncomfortable. Okay, too much. So I can't sleep. I have nothing to watch. I want to listen. I want to eavesdrop. I want to know what you're saying. That will entertain me. Like, why do you think people love reality TV so much? Because it's that tea. So real life tea. It'll be that reality TV. You know what I mean? Like, I need that. For this lip, I think it's red lips, guys. Is it red lips? Yeah, but it's kind of like a... Ooh, it's kind of like a good red lip. But she needs... That requires lip liner. Should I lip line my lips with, brown? Yeah. Why do I say it and then decide to... Why did I question you and then decide to go for it anyways? I got this TikTok... Speaking of lip liner, I got this TikTok. This is not lip liner. This is eyeliner. Not eyeliner. This is eyebrow liner. Eyebrow pencil. But I'm using it on my lips. I don't care. I saw this video of this girl saying, like, people should blend their lip liners. So, I remember her. We need to blend it. Anyways, what was I talking about? Would you rather? Would you rather? I was talking about would you rather. Okay, yeah, I'd rather be seated next to an arguing couple because if I'm sat next to a crying baby, which has happened, they're annoying, guys. Like, I know it's like frustrating for the mother when there's a crying baby, and my heart goes out to like the mothers or like the parents that are trying to calm their kid down when is like they're on a plane and stuff, because I know that's a hassle, but it just gets annoying. I'd rather want an arguing couple, and then maybe I can chime in and be like, you're wrong, you're right, you know what I mean? So anyways, next question. Would you rather have a flying magic carpet or a see-through submarine? Again, this goes with the oh, this is not blending out. Uh-oh. Okay, it blends out when you use your finger. But then it kind of looks not good. I don't know how I look. I look like, speaking of flying magic carpet, we look like Jafar up in this, looking like Jafar up in this, or that, because it's coincided with Disney, in Mulan, the matchmaker. Is this not giving matchmaker? It is. Okay, I blended this out to the best of my abilities, and I just keep tapping this microphone. I'm so sorry if your audio gets distorted because of me. Imagine if I'm filming this and it's not catching the audio either. It's green. It's on. It should be working. Okay? Okay? Anyways, I'm going to use this red that I used for my last look, Turkish makeup, which... huge fail. That was a huge fail. What did I do with my lips, guys? Okay, so yeah, I'd rather have a see-through submarine because I'd be able to see such pretty sea creatures, and it would be so pretty to like see all of that. But then again, I think of submarine and then I think of that catastrophe that happened. You guys know what I mean, but and it's like it's a bit dangerous. Or imagine if it's like, have you guys watched like Despicable Me? And it was like I think the second part, and they like go through a submarine, and I think a shark comes at them, and then a octopus like just splats on their thing, and it looked so dangerous. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It was like that scene, and I was like, I remember watching that as a kid and being like, oh my gosh, this is so scary. But why a magic carpet? Does that wait, magic carpet, does that mean it comes with an Aladdin? Call us gelatin. She's like a magnet. She's so attractive.
Call us gelatin. She's like a magnet. She's so attractive. It's all fantastic because we're flying high together on magic carpet ride.
If it comes with Aladdin and a magic carpet, sign me up. I need my Aladdin. Like, hear me out. Not hear me out. He is not a hear me out. He is yes. He is yes. Aladdin, I need him. I'm showing you one. I think these lips are fine. Do you think it is? That doesn't rhyme. This is not what the beat is. I think we're done with this look. I didn't do highlighter. But this makeup brush is filled with blue. What am I gonna use to put my highlighter on? I'm gonna wash my hands, guys. I'm quickly coming back. Does this really need highlighter if I'm already oily? Like, and also it looks so different in the mirror. Like, it doesn't look too bad, but girl, skill issue is the consensus from all three of these videos. Skill issue. Hello, you guys. This is the finished look. Again, I keep putting my hair down like after all these makeup tutorials are finished, and I'm like, I'm trying to still the look, but it gets greasy in the time that my hair is off. Anyways, is this Shalom Harlow? It's baboom baboom. Okay. I think. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Ooh, I forgot about you down here. I'm sorry. Sorry about the microphone not working. That pissed me off. All these looks require for you to have very high expertise when it comes to eyeliner. I think that really sells the look, and I'm far from being good at eyeliner. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on any of the things I've said below, as well as your answers to the would you rather questions. I will answer the questions that I answered in this video with the microphone audio cut off in the next one. See you guys then. Have a good one. Bye. Thank you. Just a really quick video, guys. I just ate dinner and had to like pause everything, but I realized I did the lips incorrectly for this look. It's supposed to be more glossy, and I did a bit more blending to the brown. What do we think? Don't mind my bathroom curtains. And I'm sorry that I don't have my mic plugged in, so it's gonna sound a little like in the background. And if my voice is echoey, it's because I'm in the bathroom. What do we think of this look? It's still, I think my face is very greasy. Anyway, just wanted to chime in with that real quick.